Quaid Azam, Part 407. This, he said to Gandhi and Nehru, is an appeal to you to help me to bring it about. Wavell put the question frankly to Gandhi and Nehru. Will you give me the guarantee the Muslim League is asking for? He was almost immediately plunged into the most difficult argument he had ever had with Gandhi, who chose this day to be at his most polemical. Gandhi, the Mahatma, on that evening chose to speak to Wavell purely simply as Congress politician. Give me a simple guarantee that you accept the cabinet mission plan, asked Wavell. We have already said that we accept it, replied Gandhi, but we are not prepared to guarantee that we accept it in the way that cabinet mission set it out. We have our interpretation of what they propose, said Wavell. Even if those interpretations differ from what the cabinet mission intended, replied Gandhi. But of course, in any case, what the cabinet mission plan really means is not what the cabinet mission thinks, but what the interim government thinks it means. Wavell pointed out the interim government's opinion, as things were at the moment, would almost inevitably be pro Congress and anti Muslim League. Since the League was boycotting the government, how could it be unbiased? Gandhi replied that he was not concerned with such bias. He was simply concerned with the legal bias of the discussion. Legally, this was a matter for the interim government to decide. Once the interim government was in power, such matters as the Muslim League's ambition and artificial anxieties could be voted upon, but not before. But don't you see, said Wavell, it will be a Congress government. They are bound to be lacking in impartiality. Nehru interrupted at this point. You misunderstand the composition of the Congress party, Your Excellency, not I may say for the first time. The Congress is not pro Hindu or anti Muslim. It is for all the people of India. It will never legislate against the interest of the Muslims, replied Wavell. But whose Muslim, Pandit Nehru? Yours, the Congress. Congress Muslims, the so called stooges, or those Muslim League? Can't you see that the necessity of this moment is to satisfy the Muslim League, that you are not trying to do them down? It is a moment, possibly the last we have, to being the League and the Congress together. And all I ask is a guarantee. Will the Congress commit itself to a declaration which will satisfy the Muslim League and assert and assure the continuation of a stable, unitary government? He reached into his drawer and pulled out paper. This is what I have in mind. This declaration ran thus: the Congress are prepared, in the interest of the communal harmony, to accept the intentions of the statement of 16 May. The Cabinet Mission Statement provinces cannot exercise any option affecting their membership of the sections or the groups if formed until the decision contemplated in paragraph 19(7) of the statement of 16 May is taken by the new legislature after the new constitutional arrangements have come into the operation and the first general elections have been held. Gandhi handed it over to Nehru, who read it through and said, to accept this is a tantamount to asking Congress to put itself in fetters. Wavell replied, so far as the cabinet mission plan is concerned, that is what I feel you should do. When Congress accepted the cabinet plan, in the first place, I cannot believe that you did so not knowing its implications. If so, why did you accept it at all? The plan for the dividing country into groups was implicit. You cannot now turn round and say that you did not realize that is what was intended. Gandhi, what the cabinet mission intended and the way we interpret what they intended may not necessarily be the same. This is lawyers' talk, said Wavell. Talk to me in plain English. I'm a simple soldier and you confuse me with these legalistic arguments. Nehru, we cannot help it if we are lawyers. Wavell, no, but you can talk to me like an honest man. You can talk to me like honest men who are interested in India's future and welfare. Damn it, the cabinet mission made its intentions as clear as daylight. Surely we don't need to go to the law, but that or split legal hairs. Either as a plain man, the situation seems to me simple. If Congress will give me the guarantee for which I ask, I think I can persuade Mr. Jinnah and the Muslim League to reconsider their refusal to join the interim government. We need them in the government. India needs them. And if you are seriously unconcerned, and if you are seriously concerned over the dangers of civil war, and you must know as well as I that the danger is great, then you need them too. In the circumstances, I feel that it would be unwise, even perilous, if I allowed Congress to form an interim government on its own. Gandhi, but you have already announced that the government will come into being. You cannot go back on your word now. Why will the situation has changed as a result of the killings in Calcutta? India is on the verge of a civil war. It is my duty to prevent it. I will not prevent it if I allow Congress to form a government which excludes Muslims. They will then decide that direct action is the only way, and we shall have the massacre of Bengal all over again. Nehru, in other words, you are willing to surrender to the Muslim League's blackmail. Wavell with great heat. For God's sake, man, who are you to talk of blackmail? For God's sake, man, who are you to talk of blackmail? For God's sake, man, who are you to talk of blackmail?